Much like the United game, Chelsea against Bournemouth were pretty much done at half-time. Kai Havertz opened the score in the 16th minute. Brilliant finish then from Mason Mount to make it 2. Job done. I imagine that's exactly what Craig will say. Let's go to Mario. Mario, at least Chelsea kind of didn't make you sweat too much in this game, which hasn't been said too much of Chelsea of late.
No, definitely not. You know, I watched the game. They look very comfortable. Like we expected him to do. For him to score that, it shows the difference that Chelsea is creating. But clearly, they've been talking about to a lot of players, and you're hearing a lot of names coming up, because the guys in the middle of the park is going to be a problem. If they're going to look at Conte and Jorginho, they are running their contracts at the end, so it becomes a problem now.
What did you take away from today?
That now that Jan's gone, he really should check that contract. He's not here in 10 minutes. All that took Jan to get off the screen was a quick check of the wording of his contract, and he's gone. Look,
he's coming back.
Jan can hear all of this as well. He's back on extra time. And
he's somewhere in his hotel room in Manchester going, I'll get him.
I know, exactly.
I'll get him later. Well, he brought it up. Contracts. Look, there certainly was more beady eyes on Potter than Ten Hag. Right, we're talking about playing teams that are struggling at home. Kind of expected what United delivered, particularly against that opposition. I think Chelsea's an unknown, isn't it? And what we saw for most of the game, and particularly early, was encouraging, albeit Bournemouth offered pretty much nothing until the second half, and then even then it was a little bit powder puff. But the big thing for me, and unfortunately it was also a downside, was the return of Reece James.
Yeah, of course, injured after 50
And we're waiting. Chelsea, I think Potter has said it's going to be 48 hours or thereabouts to see if it's a recurrence of the exact same injury, and he's got a knee problem. He's obviously missed the World Cup with a knee problem. But I just think he released Raheem Sterling to go and float around a little bit more. His marauding down the right-hand side was brilliant. I agree, the midfield, I think against better teams, particularly with Zakaria in there, who hasn't had much game time, had come on for Switzerland at the World Cup on the odd occasion. But yeah, Potter, you could just see in the touchline, he just needed 3 points. This was not really so much about performance. This was about result. It was a kind of typical Chelsea in a way. It should have been 3 or 4. It was only a couple. And he breathes a sigh of relief until his ownership do whatever they're going to do in the transfer market.
Mario, how would you sum up Christian Pulisic today?
No, I felt like in the first half, what Craig said, Chelsea was the first half very dominating, and Pulisic was part of that journey. But the only thing I felt like when second half came, it looked like the energy was kind of like coming down. Maybe the last 20 minutes, it was kind of different. And Pulisic going up front, you know, the first half, I felt like he was trying hard and going left and right with his movement. But one of the things that I sometimes ask myself is I want to see him take people on more. Why I want that is also because sometimes they become unpredictable. And now they're counting on Raheem's speed. If you saw the first half, how he delivered the cross for Havertz, but also they're trying to even the second half, he had a couple of opportunities, he cut back where he miscontrolled the ball, that they're counting on his speed. That's why they play him on the right. And that's why I want to see more from Pulisic, because I don't want someone to come in, and if not, he might have more competition on the left-hand side when a new player comes in, and then it becomes maybe a questionable, and you don't want that to happen.
Why didn't he play Gio Reyna? Wait, that's a different conversation. Wait, that's
I thought he had a good shout for it.
That's something else.
I thought he had a good shout for a penalty. Actually,
when you see the shirt being pulled, normally that's a no-brainer, isn't it?
I thought it was a penalty, but then it was just me prattling on.
But once VAR, it's very rare. Once we see VAR and you can clearly see he's got a handful of.
I thought that was a penalty kick against the player.
I
have
agree.
to be honest.
There was a pen. Yeah. Come on, he's right, Greg. You're right. This is clearly a pen. Why he pulls him down in the box?
Yeah. But the big question is, what can you run in the team? Is he going to get?
What did you make of him today?
If any?
You agree with Mario?
Yeah. I thought he was okay at times, and ultimately, it seems to be. And I think he had a poor World Cup, but Mason Mount's kind of still the man, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he can go anywhere, and that's part of the problem. Everybody else sort of fits around, but Mount's the guy that either plays a bit deeper or he plays up top, and every manager it seems has trusted him. But yeah, I thought Pulisic was okay and a little bit unlucky, obviously with the penalty shout.
A lot still more then to come for Chelsea for the rest of the season. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.